It's Sunday afternoon, and I started printing this gradient, this black to gray gradient, and I just wanted to turn on the live stream real quick so I could share it with you. So let's get started. Let me pull up my channel here so I can see any comments if anyone decides to join today. So there's a squeaky roller again today. So I cut back some of this block. They had some grays that were up in this tree and in this orange area. You can see we're printing this texture that's on the rock surface. It's a little bit darker than the gray that's below. And there'll be one more impression to finish off this print, and it'll be the black key lines, or the key block. There's a lot of texture that's going to go over this. So if you stick around towards the end, I'm going to print a key block on top of this. So I'm going to finish this print today. So here goes another one. You can see we're printing in this gray area here. And this is a fun little impression here. But the paper spin on me. Somehow the paper spun on me. That's not good. Let me see here. Might have just ruined the registration on this one. I hope not. See. I think it's okay. So it's a nice little, I have a cool light coming in my window right now. It's interesting because I usually do these live streams earlier, around 12 o'clock. Today it's 3, what time is it? 3:30 almost. So you're getting this nice cool reflected light the light's reflecting off the building across the street and coming in here indirectly. So we get this different cool light. So again, for you that have just joined, I'm going to print I have about 8 of these to do, and then I'm going to pull out the key block, and we're going to print the key block, and we're going to finish this print today. So I'm just going to keep going through with these until they're finished. And then I'm just going to print the key block right over this. This area will be wet still, but I'm just going to print right over it, I think. If it doesn't work out, I'll at least do a couple. You can see how this composition, it kind of comes up into this tree. Guess there's a mouse in my roller, I'm sorry. It's my squeaky roller. Must be getting late for you over there. Almost time for bed. It's a nice little gradation from dark to light. It's kind of a cool gray. And then the texture and the color underneath, that's transparent. You can still see the paper, the tone of the paper coming through. So it's adding a nice little variation there of shadow mass and the light mass. I'm happy with that. Yeah, so I trimmed the block. I had grays up in the trees and over here, and I figured it wouldn't work very well. And it was a good decision because it wouldn't have looked very, very good if I had some cool grays up in these trees. It just wouldn't make sense. It would have made sense if I was using these blocks with water-based pigments, but I changed over to oil realizing that I didn't design it properly for Mokahanga. I'm gonna cover my microphone. So you don't have to hear that squeak. I kind of like the print as it is, just without the key block. There's some registration issues, but that's because the key block, you could see the white line, but that's because the key block will cover that. I kind of like it just the way it is. My only prediction of why this print might not turn out the way I want it to is because the key block's very black, it's very dark. There's a lot of texture going on, and I just don't want it to be overkill. So I have a feeling it might be a little too much, but we'll see. We'll see here soon. Thank you for your compliment. We'll see when we print the key block. Should only be about 10 minutes and we'll be printing on top of this to see what it looks like finished. Right now it's very light, it has a nice atmosphere to it, it's very bright. But when I put the key block on top, that black pigment, it's going to really change it. So I have an example here. This was a test print. So you can see all those black lines, the texture, the heavily textured, especially in the trees. So if you can imagine that black, I think you'll pull it together though. Hopefully it pulls it together. Yeah, I was thinking that too. Maybe just darker, like kind of just a gray that's in this value, like a cooler. Could try that. Maybe I will try that. I'll just mix up some of this dark gray and this black together, and it'll be a softer, but I don't know. I don't know. We'll find out soon enough. Got 1, 2, 3 more to go, and then we'll try to go to the key block and see what happens. The other option is if I just put a little transparency in with the black, so that it's still a little bit transparent, and it will give it a softer feel. I mean, I could mix in a color too. I can mix in a little bit of green or a little bit of blue to give it a cooler tone. Endless options. So we got 2 more to go. So this black that I have here, it's called blue black. So it's a very cool color. I don't have like a jet black or an ivory black. I just have a blue black that's on my palette. So I could mix in a little bit of warm, like a little bit of transparent red, or like some red earth into it, and it would warm it up a little bit. Or I could keep it cool, mix in a little blue or green. It might be nice to have a little bit of warmth. So maybe just a little bit of red in there. So a little bit of red, a little bit of transparency, maybe and just a little bit of white. Just a little bit of white, just to bring it forward a little. We'll see. So is this the last one? I think so. Yes, this is the last one. All right, so let me just move these prints down a few slots so that I have room to work here on my drying rack. Just give me 1 second here. Now get the key block. I'll have a look at that first. I printed the first few of these maybe an hour ago, so they should be a little tacky. They're not so wet. This paper really soaks in the ink well. Very fast. Well, just got a smudge on that one. So I gotta be careful because the ink is wet. So the key block is here. We'll switch this out. There's the key block. Key block is on a piece of American cherry. I haven't used ink. I used water-based ink. So let's clean up this area. I'm going to keep So right now there's a little bit of white in there. So I have a little burnt umber, or I have Prussian blue, which would make it really dark. What else do I have? I have this red earth. I think I'm just going to use a little bit of red, very small amount, just to warm it up slightly. So let's move this out of the way. Quite a lot of red, so we need to add more black. Clean this up. I'm not going to be using this roller. We need a little bit more black here. And while my palette knife is still clean, I'm going to get a little bit of this transparent base. Not tons, just a little bit. Mix that all together for my new color. It's like a warmer. I'm gonna add just a little bit of this gray, like a very small amount. Just a little more. Just to take the edge off a little. We'll start with that and see how it goes. Oops, sorry. All right. So here goes nothing. Let's ink it up this way. I'm just gonna use a larger roller than that. I'll use this one. Just need to grab a paper towel. going to take my time, make sure I coat this entire surface equally. Make sure I get these margins and corners when there's a border around the print. It's easy to miss the corners. So I'm just going to rotate this block around. It's about ready. For the first impression from this block with oil pigments. So I need a larger cover sheet. And here we go. Now this ink is still wet, so I have to just be careful here. It's very tacky there. This is exciting. I'm just going around the perimeter of the print, just even light pressure for the moment. Making sure I get the margins very well, the edges of the border. I need a mat that's underneath this because it's sliding around on the glass palette. So one of these non-slip mats, which is better. Should be good. Let's see what happens. I could pull off a corner. You could start to see it's looking nice. What's looking real nice? Didn't get that area that I was worried about. And there we have it. Let me move this block out of the way so we can look at this. So there's this one area that's missing, little chunk of paper showing through. Doesn't bother me too much. We can correct that by doing some couple different things maybe. Let's get a closer look. It's got some little rocks in there. Yeah, I'll show up before and after. You guys are going to tell me you like the one before better. This really changes things. So that's the before and the after. So it's a pretty heavy black key block. But when it dries, it'll kind of settle back a little bit. It won't be so intense. But I like the gradation, how it's much darker down at the bottom of the page. That was the whole idea of the gradations coming up, so that your eye kind of comes up into these trees. And without the key block, you wouldn't get all this texture and, you know, the structure of the rocks as much as you do over this one. Yeah, so that's I mean that's it. It is what it is. The registration's off a little bit, but I'm not too worried about it. You can see if I can, there's a little bit of white in those tree limbs, so I'm not sure. We'll print one more. If anything, I think the brown, looks like the brown block is too low, but I'm not too worried about that. Well, it's a fun print. I'm happy with it. Plus I can do another color scheme. This is just one color scheme. All these blocks are already carved, so I can work on it and print another version of this. So let's do one more. Just want to double check that I have all of these borders inked up. Thanks, Marius. Appreciate it. Have a good one. All right, I'm gonna print one more. See how this goes. Do light. Let's see. So what time is it? It's 4 o'clock. So yeah, that's gonna be the stream for today. I have to run and go do a couple errands real quick, and I'm gonna finish printing these later. But at least I got to do a couple on the stream, and I don't know. I might have to make a decision, see how I like this black. I think it's working well. I think that's all we have as an option right now. But again, I could print another batch of these using a different color scheme, which I might do. I might do a nighttime scene. It's like purples and blues and put a moon in the sky. And the key block for that would be like a dark blue. Or like a dark blue, like a Prussian blue. So we'll see. But thanks for joining me. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. I'll see you next time.